Hey, so Video Pencil is a great tool for filmmakers. You can use it for day-to-day to review footage in a room with your team, or you can do it from a taxi. CueCam takes it all to the next level, letting you use your iPad to annotate, zoom and shuttle through videos, but now those videos are playing back on your Mac as part of a more organised sequence. So I'm going to tell you more about that today. Hey, this is Square's TV App Lab number 109, where you don't need a PhD in HDMI to produce great video. Good line, Michael. Clever. I'm Michael Forrest, and I make Video Pencil, Shoot and CueCam presenter, among all sorts of other artistic nonsense, if I ever get a chance. This week, as always, we start with some updates. So, July, I had my head down in real-time Swift. And I sort of I was doing daily videos before that, and I just kind of let that slide a little bit. So I did a bit of a crunch last week to get to the end of August, to the end of July, start of August, and it was more of a whimper than a sort of celebratory victory lap. But I'm proud of all the progress I made. I've started integrating all the new tech that I've come up with into the existing CueCam, but it's going to be a while before that's all ready for a beta. But meanwhile, I think you may have noticed that I've been making sort of shipping little updates to the normal build of CueCam. So it's not like the usual situation where I start on a beta and then nothing changes in the normal CueCam for months on end. So that's all right. But I did actually today. Oh, that's interesting. It's got the thing on it. I just want to turn on my background oscilloscope. So I did fix actually today. You won't have it yet. It's going to be on test flight shortly. This bug in Video Pencil where it would flicker while you were drawing. I finally fixed that. So now it's just it just feels a bit different. It just feels a bit nicer because it was just doing a little bit of flickering on the iPad screen, not for the audience, just for you. But that's just something I finally figured out today, and it's to do with I'm doing some shenanigans inside that Apple doesn't expect you to do in order to be able to kind of make that line show up on the Mac and over NDI when you're doing it. But so in order for this to not just appear after you've lifted your pencil up, I had to do some weird shenanigans. But I've sort of managed to synchronize it a bit better with what's going on in other parts of the application that Apple manages, and it now just feels it's just nice. You draw and it's not slightly flickering sometimes, so that's nice. I've also been working on an update to the CueCam homepage, which always takes longer than I think it reasonably should. But I really realised I should focus that on the problems that CueCam solves. Here are all the things that you will not have to do now that you're running CueCam. So my screensaver just turned on. That's crazy. Right. By the way, also, if you're interested in promoting CueCam or sharing it with anyone, don't forget to check out the new demo tools in the settings window. So I've got this new tab up here, which basically now demo mode doesn't show up for people that aren't interested in demo mode, which I think it was causing confusion. People didn't realize it was for talking about CueCam. So that's now only enabled if you switch on enable demo tools. And then I sort of I put in my placeholder thing so that if you took a screenshot to show someone something and you didn't want your face in it, you can sort of choose from some AI faces or some other outlines. But the most interesting thing probably to most people is there is now an affiliate link built into CueCam. So if you use this link in here, you can click copy. I'm going to be able to track referrals back to you and give you 50% of any money I make. How does that sound? Right? Anything that is tracked back to your referral link, I'm going for 50%. The other thing I want to do with this is make it so that there's a discount for people that use the referral link, because I think that's a better way to get people to actually use them. So I don't know, 15% off, 20% off your first 6 months or something like that, just to kind of get people to use it, and then hopefully we'll make some money together. Hopefully. Because it's hard I'm just so grateful to anyone that's talking about CueCam, and I'm really looking for my kind of big early adopters and trying to make sure it's ready for people. I just want you to be happy with it and sharing it and talking about it, because once you get into it, I don't think there's any turning back, to be honest. So let's talk about the subject of filmmaking now. So this is how filmmakers can use Video Pencil and CueCam to provide feedback. I went to WWDC. I've been to one, which is the Apple Developer Conference. I went to one in 2011 because I was working for a company that sent me there to San Francisco. And they had all that, they had all the tech things, but then they had someone from Pixar talking about the video production workflow tools that are made in-house in Pixar to make review and all these different things work better. And I just remember sitting in that auditorium going, that sounds like a good job. I think I'd enjoy that, like making the tools to support a film production. I think we're all like into cameras and stuff here, so I'm sure we're, I am very into film and like TV production, right? I'm very interested in it. Good writing, good, all that stuff. I just, it's kind of all around us, but I just really love that stuff. So the idea of just being part of something like, I think what would put me off a little bit would be that it would probably be, if I was on a film production team, it would be the biggest company I've ever worked for. I don't really like working for big companies, so I don't know what it would be like in practice. But what I realized talking to a new adopter of CueCam yesterday who was telling me about his experiences, how he was watching other filmmakers doing reviews using these kind of convoluted like setups to be able to draw on the footage and stuff. And then he discovered Video Pencil and gone, oh God, this is just like, I can do this. This is simple. And realizing that, people just don't know about this. And, in terms of people that really benefit from being able to annotate and draw on stuff, realizing actually, like filmmakers, along with coaches, are probably will find this the most useful, anything that's a visual medium. So that's why I sort of decided today I'm just going to talk about that. And I just want to sort of give you the basics on how you would deploy Video Pencil and CueCam to give feedback on a production. So Video Pencil, it's great for reviewing film footage. You can load up video files and shuttle through, zoom in, circle things, draw arrows, scribble on bigger explosions, anything you need to sort of talk about. So, and you can do that either this is, you don't know how many prompts it took me to get them to give her an Apple Pencil and I said it was this kind of Harrison Ford looking Indiana Jones shot initially. And I was like, can you make it a bit more of an action scene? And it made all of these lot start going. I was like, no, that's not what I asked for, robot. Quite crazy trying to get this, but I just wanted to show that you can be in a room and on the TV screen, I'll pretend I'm in the room. I should just come a bit closer to the camera and be like you can see the back of my head. Oh yeah, that's interesting what he's done here. It's like you're there. You can just have your iPad. You can load up some footage on it and just AirPlay it to the Apple TV in the room, and you're going to be able to see what you're doing up on the screen. Sorry, Neil. Hi, Neil. Thanks for joining us today. Always good to see you. So it's really easy, and coaches do this, but this is my first time realizing, a lot of TVs actually have AirPlay built in as well. So all you've got to do is grab the iPad, get it on the network, and you can be showing stuff on the TV, and everyone knows exactly what you're talking about, and you can say, okay, this car's a bit weird. Oh, what's going on back here, right? And you can sort of go, oh yeah, his eye line is a bit off. You can sort of do all that stuff in a room. Hey, Tim. But also, you don't have to be in a room to do this. If you're on the go, then you can record your feedback. So you could be sitting in a taxi and still kind of moving things forwards. So here's a little, let me just hide myself. So here's the recording feature. So you'd say record microphone. You wouldn't just do the drawing, and then you've got the recording button. Here is your video that you've loaded in, but also you've got this shuttle wheel. So you can sort of spin on that to really sort of precisely go to exactly the point in your footage that you want to go to, and that's really handy. And then this little button up here lets you be picture in picture. So here's another AI generated shot. I tried to get it to give me a plausible director sitting in a taxi. So you see, you can be picture in picture down here. And talk through the footage and just scan through it, and people are gonna, and then just just send that to someone, text it to someone, WhatsApp it to someone, or depending on how secure you need things to be. So it's really easy to use on the go. And then just a point that I wanted to add to that was, if you are in traffic, you can turn on voice isolation. So you go up to the top menu on the top right hand corner of the iPad, swipe down, and you'll tap onto Video Pencil. It'll give you the microphone settings, and you can just turn on voice isolation, and then it's not going to be like a load of like traffic noise while you're talking through it. So this, you know, using Video Pencil remotely, it makes it much easier to work with editors, colorists, or other collaborators across different time zones as well. So often, like, these film productions are global. So just being able to sort of quickly fire something off and then people get to it in the morning is going to be incredibly powerful. And all you need is your iPad and the footage, and you can just like scan through that and like draw on it and fire off your notes. Compared to other ways of doing things, I think this is like, it's a no-brainer. But if you want to create more structured reviews, you can use your Mac. So this is, if you're going to go beyond ad hoc feedback, you can use CueCam to bring a bit more structure to things. So the CueCam sort of emerged from the needs, like Video Pencil's cool for like quick things. You've got your little media browser. Let me just show you what kind of that media browser interface looks like. Hey John. So in CueCam, in Video Pencil, you've basically got your kind of like list of recent files, or you can pick stuff from photos. So you can sort of grab some stuff. You could line up a few files here and sort of quickly access them before hitting record. But it's a little bit kind of you know, like it's not powerful in terms of sequencing or managing all that content. But if you use your Mac, you can load in content, but you can still use the same Video Pencil interface to annotate it. So you can still draw on it on your iPad. You'll still be able to see it on your iPad, even though it's on your Mac. You'll still be able to like zoom on footage by pinching and zooming on the iPad, even though it's playing on your Mac. And that can be images, that can be videos, that can be screen shares. So you can do that all in a way that you just couldn't just on the iPad. So imagine you've got some like secure portal or secure screen shared Mac, remote Mac. I know they do that. Like they'll have like a little Mac Mini that's connected to some secure like thing where all the real files are for some big production. You could just screen share that, and then on your iPad you'd be able to like I mean, it's a bit different, but I'm going to talk about the video stuff, because the other thing, if you do have the video file on the Mac, you're then able to use that same shuttle wheel to precisely navigate that footage, all from the iPad. So it's basically the same user interface, but now you've got the power of your Mac, and you're not like sending files backwards and forwards and like converting them and all that kind of stuff. So it's going to save all those kind of like file transfers from Mac to cloud to iPad and all that stuff. And so CueCam gives you a live camera, which lets you work in a similar way to Video Pencil, which kind of looks like this. So you can, wait, do I have a picture of that? Let me find. Okay, so we don't have that. I'll just show you it. So this is the live camera window. So you can just like grab any video file. So I downloaded this kind of like example with a time code on it. So you can just drag that in, and now you've got the video file. You can just play that.
Of course.
And you can have the sound. You can change the playback speed.
What the heck? Next swallow gas, man.
Right, and then on my iPad, I can be... Right, so I'm on my iPad now, I'm not on my Mac. I can, oh, you can't see it because of the virtual. So I can actually like navigate through that content. And if I can draw like that, and then I can like pan back, and I can say, what about this bit? And then I can come back. And so it's exactly the same user interface, but it's controlling my Mac remotely, right? And you can just drag a video file, and then you can use a side 3D. And this was something we talked about yesterday. When you're kind of reviewing or teaching using this, then it's quite useful to be able to kind of like, if you're using sort of like heavily copyrighted content, then it's quite useful to be able to sort of like be picture in picture, talking over the top of it, move it out the way, come full screen, and that just happens automatically when you hit the share bar here. You can just kind of come in and out the way, and like still talk about the footage. Still like we can see that it's still down there. But we can sort of like it puts you on camera more. It's a better experience for the audience, and it's also less likely to get like flagged by YouTube if you're uploading stuff on YouTube. You can record on the Mac, right, using any connected camera and microphone. So you know, it's as simple as, I mean, I've got an extra interface, but you've just got your mic selection and your camera selection, so you can just pick from whatever there, and then use headphones to monitor the audio. So I always use a headphone. So I just use the like tiniest little Bluetooth earpiece. You probably want something a bit better if you're like reviewing film footage. The good thing about, I mean, one of the differences between CueCam and just Video Pencil is the Video Pencil doesn't really record the sound into the videos just yet, because it was quite a recent addition. It's not the simplest thing in the world, like tapping the audio from the video or AV player. So it works on Mac, you get all the sound, but you don't really get that on there. So but you can monitor as well, and you can monitor select certain things, that you don't monitor your microphone because that's distracting, but you can hear the audio of the video, and that's really useful. But it does mean like put some headphones on. And then, the picture-in-picture, as you've seen, like if you're sharing something, it just, you can either have like, so we can be picture-in-picture. So you can either be like, just like in a circle like this, and you can choose which corner you want to be in. Like I can just go like top right, I'm going to be in the top right. But you can also use this, you can use a real green screen, but I love the virtual green screen because it means I don't actually have to have a real green screen. But I can appear like this over the top of the footage, and I just think this is great. I love this. Oh, by the way, yeah, zooming as well. Like we can zoom in, and I can do that from the iPad and just zoom in. Okay, his ear. Can we tidy up this ear a little bit? Yeah, I think his ear's a little bit distracting for the AB1 demographic. So you can do all that stuff, and you zoom from the iPad, zoom from the Mac. So yeah, so. That's that. And then, oh yeah, and I was just going to show you how to enable that virtual green screen. So the virtual green screen, is now the latest version. You can just enable it from this menu here, or you can go into like the camera settings. But like now, the quickest way is just to enable virtual green screen there. So. Here's how it looks using CueCam's virtual green screen to keep you picture in picture. So this is, again, like I just kind of showed you this, but you can be this lady, picture in picture. You can have your footage here. You can be doing your annotations, and you've got your record button up here. And you can also live stream it if you wanted, but like that's another story. And then here's what the iPad screen looks like. So as you can see, like we've got our controls. You see it's remote control CueCam is what's happening there. And you can actually control CueCam from down here. So you can actually tap. I'm going to bring myself back, maybe. Have I still not managed to make that work? So you can like tap on that to go like next and previous within CueCam as well. But I'll talk about how that navigation works next. But yeah, like you can. Here's how you would collect. So that's still great for one shot, but you can actually collect multiple shots with CueCam. So if you've got a few shots to review, but you don't want to record multiple videos or like navigate them and like waste a lot of time, you can actually like create a script. And so the first step of that is actually like there's a button here. I just added this because it was just like you had to know to press new in the file menu, but I don't think it was clear enough. And you can go create blank script, but I don't think people were finding it. But now we've got this just new script button here. So that's just going to create a new empty script, which looks like this. So what you can now do, you've got this add button in the toolbar, and if you go add media, you can select multiple video files, and it will just create a sequence of cards, one with each video file on it. And so that's just a quick way to kind of get a sequence of shots that you want to review. And then you can trim each shot. So if you just want to talk about it a little bit, you can just find it. And I think you probably have the time code baked into the shots. You think you probably want that. So as long as you got that, it's going to be really, I think, efficient to do this. And then you can make your trims, and you can add your notes to your cue cards. Like, you can sort of like you could probably just collect all the shots that you've got to review into CueCam first and make notes on them in CueCam, and then all you've got to do is like hit record, and you can just give that feedback. So CueCam is very sort of like, it's a text editor. You can just use the arrow keys. You don't have to take your hands off the keyboards to sort of like type stuff in. But now you've got these cue cards are actually going to work with your teleprompter, and I'll talk about that in a bit as well. So also, if you've got clips with, if you want to say lots of things about one particular video file, you can use this this split button. Oops, I've gone into the ear again. You can use this split button here to actually split it across different cards. And you can change the playback speed for each card. You can like mute the mic per card if you wanted, or you could like if you click here, you can hide your picture-in-picture overlay. So if you don't want to be picture-in-picture every time, it's quite handy to be able to just like hide yourself out the way. You can always like hide yourself ad hoc, but you know, you can sort of decide what you want to communicate with each card and like adjust what you show to the needs of each clip. And you can just do that all in CueCam, and then you just like you've got your notes and then you're ready to record them as well. And it's all just in one place. I think that's a game changer. And then to record with CueCam, you know, as I showed you, you've just got the record button in the toolbar. But if you want the best possible results, then you should set up your teleprompter so that you're going to be making eye contact with the camera while still being able to see your notes in your eye line. So you can use a big camera and something like an Elgato prompter, which is what I'm using today. I've got an Elgato prompter, I've got a Canon R6 in the back, and that's kind of how I do things when I'm in my office. But if you're if you're in a hotel, or if you don't have a sort of studio set up at home, you can just use your iPhone. So CueCam works with Shoot Pro Webcam to I wonder what picture this is trying to it's trying to go to the website. It works with Shoot Pro Webcam to transform your phone into an all-in-one camera, screen and teleprompter. Where did I put my phone? I just want to so your camera can be Shoot, like if I launch Shoot on here, you're going to be able to see like what I'm seeing in my teleprompter, which is you see that was I'm going to say don't ask again because so that's you see, like that's not the phone. So if I hide this is the phone camera, right? You see my teleprompter. But if I turn back on the program feed, like this is my program going out, and then if I sort of go forwards back, like you can see my script is on there. See? So you can just use your phone like wirelessly, effortlessly as a teleprompter webcam, and it just like works with CueCam. And all you've got to do is just select it as the camera in CueCam. And then in Shoot, again, like that's what you see on your phone screen. So all your drawings, all this stuff, all your notes are going to appear on the phone's camera. You're going to be able to see the video footage, but you're going to be able to like kind of like talk to the person directly, and it's just all going to feel a bit more natural. And it's just also you're going to be able to go through this really quickly, especially if you're using like the navigation buttons on the iPad and stuff. So using a CueCam script lets you collect your thoughts ahead of time, and then just like bang through the feedback really efficiently, which I don't think there's another way to do, to be honest. So that's kind of my thoughts. If you're just kind of like new to Video Pencil, new to CueCam, that's how you would use it as part of a film production process. So, Video Pencil is a tool for reviewing film footage with features like zooming, annotating and drawing. You can do this in person on like an Apple TV or something, or you can do it remotely by recording. CueCam is a Mac app which supports more structured reviews, making it easy to manage content and eliminates heavy file transfers to the iPad. And then CueCam with Video Pencil, you can still use Video Pencil in exactly the same way, but you'll be remote controlling your Mac from the same interface, which with all the benefits that brings, right? With recording, CueCam supports recording the live camera, and also you can sort of like connect whatever camera microphone to it, and then you can use scripts in CueCam to put together multiple shots, split them up, trim them, and take notes on them, and just like basically sort of lay out all the different sequences you want to talk about, and you can like annotate them and talk about them. CueCam integrates with teleprompters so that you can kind of make eye contact, do what I'm doing. You see here, like it's just the tip of the iceberg as well. You can do these slides as well with bullet points. That's all part of CueCam as well. Really easy to do. And then Shoot Pro Webcam works with CueCam. It works to make the iPhone into a camera screen and teleprompter. Sorry, my teleprompter notes were weird. Works with to use an iPhone as works with CueCam to use an iPhone as a camera screen and teleprompter. So that's filmmakers. That's kind of like the high level overview of how you can be using CueCam in your life. And we are back to that's that. So that's I'll sort of see. I see we've got a few people today, but if you've got any questions, now is the time, or comments. And meanwhile, I will just plug the Discord. Come and join the Discord. There's usually a bit of chatter going on there. You might be able to get some help when I'm not awake. I can't guarantee it. Probably you'll get help from me at 10 o'clock at night when I should be. My phone should be off, but it's not. And then I might. What's the time? Yeah, maybe I'll go over onto Discord now. If you want to, like, if anyone wants to hang out for a bit, I'm going to just like connect to the video chat in Discord. I changed my screensaver settings this week, and it keeps going into screensaver. Neil asks, how is the new engine going? As I said, I did talk about this at the start. It's like the fundamentals, even like at the last minute, I still realised like a major fundamental wasn't in there. But like the fundamentals are feeling really good. The workflow's feeling really good for the new engine. The integration I have started, but it's gonna take some time. I'm sort of like it's not, there's not going to be a beta in less than a month, right? Like that's plus, like, since I've not been working on it in earnest, I haven't managed to spend any time on it this week because I was working on the landing page, I was working on today's session. I was like, it's just very hard to, you know, if I'm not prioritizing that, then it's like hard to find time to do it. So I'm just still trying to like find the right balance of time boxing so I can make a little bit of progress on that every day. It's you know, I did a crunch last week. It was really intense. Sort of like my version of staying up late as much as you can do that with a toddler. But it's coming. I'm very proud of the work I've done on it, right? I'm very proud of what it is and how like much code, like the new version of CueCam, I've deleted like thousands of lines of code already, right? Like all these things that are like really hard to do in the current CueCam and like state can get out of sync. That's all like now very straightforward to think about with the new engine. And so it's just a case of like ripping out all this old stuff that was like hacks and workarounds all in these nooks and crannies and just turning it into this very kind of like linear thing where I kind of know exactly what's what, and I've got these really powerful like visual debugging tools as well, so I can see exactly where something's not quite working and like get to the bottom of it very quickly. So this is all, it's all coming soon. Thank you for asking, Neil. I could talk about it all day. So new engine, Max Miller said, new engine rebuild of CueCam. So Max, yeah, basically like I've sort of reached a bit of a point with CueCam where it's just getting this perfect transitions was just, I just couldn't, it just wasn't happening because there was like too many different things like that didn't know how to synchronize with each other. So like the video players are kind of separate from the 3D renderer thing and separate from the like the text rendering engine is all different. Like it was very hard to like just get it frame perfect. And so it was, I've been thinking for some time, how can I like consolidate the technical design of it? And I sort of basically I've ended up having to do it the hard way, basically building my own framework that is sort of like similar to one of Apple's biggest frameworks, but it's just like to do live video instead of like generalized user interface stuff. So yeah, that's it's sort of like a rebuild of the innards of the video innards of CueCam to allow me to do a lot more with it and also just like get it really frame perfect as well. Tim says this is pretty amazing ecosystem to work in. Great work. I can only imagine how time consuming it can be as a one-man band. I've absolutely like it's really hard to like it's I want to work, I've got all this technical work, but I've also got to like talk to you guys, right? Like I've got to kind of like stay out in the open or people kind of forget that I exist, I think. I've got to keep talking to people. Also like doing something like updating the homepage to make it clear what CueCam is. Like that's just turned into a week-long project this week. So I had a new idea about how I could explain it. It's like even that just writing and making screenshots is so time consuming. So yeah, it's like at some point I hope I can kind of build that monthly recurring revenue up to a point where I can like you know, get some help. But we're still a little far off that. But yeah, it just means it takes a bit longer. But to be honest, I think like when you add in the kind of like overhead of big teams and companies, I think in some ways I can move a lot faster than sort of big companies can. But I just, you know, sometimes wish I had a bit of support and a bit of breathing space once in a while. Like I was talking to a friend like who, my previous app, like 2019, we were working on this. I got a designer friend in to kind of like help me with the design, and that's probably the last time that I had any mental space because I was waiting for him to do designs. But like since then I haven't really had any kind of like breathing room to not be thinking about everything all the time. Anyway, that's enough from me. All right. Right, well, today I've actually... This is going to be bad, isn't it? I've actually plugged in my music gear today. So I thought... I haven't practiced anything. So I've just plugged in some music gear, and we're just going to see what happens if I go over to the equipment and like have a noodle to play us out today. And we'll just see how it feels. Neil says, you have us to support you. Thank you, Neil. It's... Again, it's like I really feel so grateful to the, Neil helped me sort out this, so like literally came to my flat and helped. So this is true. Yeah, what am I saying? Yeah, like it's. I feel very responsible to those of you who have taken such a strong interest in what I'm doing. I just don't want to let anyone down, and I just want to make sure this comes together. But like, sometimes the only way to make a small improvement is to make a huge change under the hood, and that's just the fact of engineering sometimes. So it's going to take a little while to get it perfect. But do you know what? I'm so happy with this this drawing glitch being fixed today, because I had an NDI problem that I had to fix, and I just finally looked at it, and it just feels so nice that I can just like draw, and it's like it's not flickering. I love it. Anyway, right, I'm gonna jump in. So yeah, oh weird. It's not showing Max's solopreneur. It's not showing your comment on my head-up display. It's showing everything else. How weird. Bugs. All right, I'm just gonna noodle about on the music gear and then maybe jump onto Discord, and if anyone's there. Thanks for joining me, everyone. I really appreciate it. And I'll see you in a couple of weeks, if not before. All right, I'm going to go over and see what happens. So what do I need to do? I need to turn on the audio. I'm going to share my iPhone. Yeah, okay, so that's the iPhone screen. Okay, that seems to be connected. We might not get an amazing frame rate from this because it's an iPhone 7. Cheers, Max. And let's just see what's what on here. So I'm going to put that there so I can see what I'm doing. Maybe here, and then go. I might put the headphones on.